This is a meeting. That's what we call it, apparently.
Oh, that's right. It switched, didn't it?
Greg Saunders.
Greg Saunders!
Wow. Hey, great.
I got it.
We interrupt this sound file to bring you a terrifying announcement.
Are you aware that you're leaking coolant at an alarming rate?
Show us the skills that have made you a media darling.
Well, I'm glad we got all that out in the open.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Saturday Morning Stateline Show.
Basically, Tom beds are just human charging pods. My name's Greg. He's Tom
And
Warner.
I'm Tom.
It's the 27th day of March, the year 2021, the latest it's ever been.
In the history of mankind.
Thanks for joining us
Okay,
today.
so
Saturday Morning Stateline
I'm
Show.
sorry.
Real quick before you start, big number of the week this week is 89 million.
89 million.
89 million. And the answer is collies or coins.
Collies or coins?
Or coins. And man, your hat is really ripped up, Tom. Are you that upset that Eli
I know.
got bumped?
Yeah, this is a perfectly brand new hat. I threw it up against the wall about 100 times now. No, this is just, I don't know. It's my favorite hat.
It's one of the
I
most
love
distressed hats I've ever seen. With the top just looks
know.
nasty.
I know. It is. It's cool. I'm going to get a sunburn up there if I'm not careful. I don't know why I like it so much because it fits so well and it feels good. Okay, I was really hoping the big number would be 2,666 because I did the math. You can't see it. That's how many photos.
Per day?
I just divided 30 into 80,000. It came out to be
Nice.
2,666 for photos. If you weren't with us, we were talking about the time-lapse photography of 80,000 photos in 30 days.
It's such a cool
I did it
video.
freehand.
I think I already posted it on our Facebook page. I think it's already there because it was so cool. I just had to share it.
Yeah.
But if not, it's beautiful 30-day time lapse of a cargo ship's voyage. That's basically what it's called. And yeah, it's such a cool video that this guy on a cargo ship took from the Red Sea to Sri Lanka to Singapore to Hong Kong. The camera facing the bow of the ship the entire time. And everything about it's interesting when it's out in the open sea, when it's at night, when there's storms, when it gets into port and it unloads and loads those big cargo shipping containers. It's so cool to see. A lot goes into that stuff. And of course, right now there's this in the Suez Canal, there's a great big barge. One of these tanker ships, cargo ships got turned sideways and lodged in the canal and blocking traffic completely in the Suez Canal. Billions of dollars being lost per day because of this blockage in the Suez Canal. Very, very serious situation. It's going to affect a lot of things. So if you don't get your order from Amazon on time, it might be because they're waiting for this stuff to show up. Oh man, it's been a week. I don't know about you, Tom, but it's been a good week, as gloomy as it's been for the most part.
Yeah. Mr. Sunshine is taking vacation.
Kinda.
It's been a good week. It's been a good week. A very, very tough week for me because I do trivia 3 nights a week. It's fine. I'm not complaining at all because for one, it's a job, but and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's one of the best jobs I've ever had because I truly enjoy it. But at Louis on Wednesday night, and believe me, I'm not encouraging anybody to go because we had 58
You're packed.
people.
58
9 teams.
58 people.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
9 teams. The most I've ever done, 30 teams, was Disney Trivia out at Granite City when they were open.
Right.
30 teams. And I don't know how many people, but these were teams of 5 and 6 and 7. There were a couple of teams 2 and 3, whatever, but I'm guessing there was about 100, maybe 120 there that night. 30 teams.
I remember you talking about that and how it was nearly impossible to do it because it was too much.
It's insane. I had to have my daughter come, and she did the correcting of the tickets for me. I couldn't have done it on my own.
No, heck no. You need a couple assistants probably for that kind of a crowd.
You really do. You need people to go around, get tickets and all of that. And it was fun though.
Good.
It was a lot of fun. Disney trivia.
Well, I want to give a couple shout outs here to start the show. Vaughn's Home Furnishings. Have you been out to Vaughn's out on Auburn?
No, I've been by it a million times. I've actually never stopped in because I just haven't had a need for furniture for a long time.
Sure.
Most of the furniture we have with dogs and grandkids and all that, it's usually secondhand. We haven't bought
Right.
new furniture for a long time. So
He's your guy for beds, for couches, for
Yeah.
chairs, for appliances, and all that. So we get all our stuff usually through Vaughn's out there. And last Saturday, yeah, I think it was Saturday. I was like, hey, I need to get a bed real quick. What does your deliveries look like? I'm sure you're booked out for the day, but just in case there's an opening, is there what do you got going on? And he said, Greg, we could have made 30 deliveries today. We have 18 booked solid, and we had to push some back because there's so many people buying stuff from Vaughn's and needing delivery.
wow.
Yeah, so they were swamped with delivery. So I ended up getting what I needed, and I needed a bed. So I ended up putting it on top of my Jeep and tying it up and taking it where I needed to go. But love Vaughn's, and if you're looking for a place to get your next appliance or any kind of furniture, check out Vaughn's Home Furnishings out on Auburn, and they do deliver. They do set up and take away your old, they take away your old stuff if needed. Wonderful service, great customer service out there. Obviously, if they're like anybody else and they get swamped, a lot of people spending their stimulus money on furniture and TVs and stuff. Go figure, Tom.
Yeah, exactly. I've never dealt with Vaughn's directly, but I've heard nothing but good about them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're awesome.
everybody that's gone there has said, yep, good place, good customer service. And you know what? I won't mention any names, but I will just say this: customer service has taken a hit in not just in the Stateline area, but I'm going through places. You can't find anybody to help you. The shelves are bare. I'm sickened by it. There's no excuse for it. No excuse for it whatsoever.
You know what's going on partially, not completely, but partially, the unemployment benefits that got extended, that is causing some people to delay looking for work. So you're understaffed at a lot of places, especially restaurants. They're not being able to get a lot of the workers back at a lot of these restaurants because people are like, hey, I can still get unemployment. So it's kind of sad. If you're going out to eat, and a lot of people are, the restaurants are getting filled up again. I'm happy about it, but you got to be patient. You really do got to be patient. Things are a bit slower than normal. So last weekend, I hadn't done this in a long time. We DJ'd a wedding out in Lake Geneva, and I had not yet been out to, hey, Barney, what's up, Barney? Get your butt out of the camera, Barney. We don't need to see that.
Yeah, let's not do that.
But Pier 290 was the spot for this beautiful wedding in Lake Geneva last weekend. Took my favorite assistant with me. My wife went with me, and we ended up spending the night out there and having a nice little weekend getaway. The folks pretty much I would say 90+% of people walking the streets in Lake Geneva had masks on, even when they were outside.
Yeah.
I'm the type that mine is off when I'm outside, but if the sign on the store says, please wear when you come in, I'm putting it on. That's fine.
A good barometer for that is when you walk into a place, if you see that everybody has their mask on, don't take yours off. If you see that nobody has their mask on, feel free to take it off.
Right.
That's the way I do it. When I go into a Walmart or when I go into just anywhere, a Goodwill, especially Goodwill, they're kind of they're the face mask Nazis at Goodwill. But anyway, I love Goodwill, but they're pretty harsh when it comes to that. Anyway, wear your face mask. Just because if you don't like it, then don't go to Goodwill. Don't go to Walmart. Don't go anywhere. Stay out of the stores if you don't like it. But that is kind of the norm. It's the social norm now. It's not a law. It's a mandate. Whatever. I'm good with it. I can wear my mask for a little while. I don't like masks. I think a lot of it is a little overhyped, but regardless, I'm still going to do it.
Well, at the wedding, I want to say there might have been one or two people that kept their mask on. Otherwise, everyone took it off for the ceremony. It was all in the same room, the ceremony and the reception and everything. And it wasn't a huge one, but it wasn't a huge room either. So had a good time. And the staff at Pier 290 were very, very nice. So enjoyed that a whole lot. I'm going to talk a little bit later about in-crowd. Had a really nice, successful in-crowd this last Thursday night. So thanks to everybody who came out to that and helped promote that. Want to give a quick shout out to the Abermats who closed on their very first house this week. They are now homeowners in Beloit. That was a cool day. They got themselves a nice house in Beloit and still commute distance to where they work, do most of their work. And then a gal I've been working at houses with for a few weeks, and it took us about 3 or 4 offers before we finally got one, but we got one under contract for her this week. And that's kind of been the norm. I know we've talked about this a lot in the last few months, but it continues to be true. You got to be patient with this market right now, because there's so many more buyers than sellers that right out of the box, you need to come up with your highest and best offer, or, and even then you might not win. When there's 10 or 15 or 20 people competing for the same property, you really got to have a strong offer to win. So
Yeah.
You put your best foot forward and pray, say your prayers and hope for the best.
That's right. I think it's time for Barney to go.
Barney's just hogging the camera.
He will not leave me alone. I'm telling you.
We need to get you a lazy boy chair in front of the camera so he can crawl up on your shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would he sit on your shoulder up there? Right? Just sitting there?
He won't sit on my shoulder, but he'll lay across here.
Okay.
That's what he normally does. This right here. That's what he normally does. And I put my arm under him like this, but it's hard to do this with headsets on. And he'll just sit here like my little parrot, like I'm a pirate. Arr, Barney.
Quite the fancy scarf you got there, Tom.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll fall asleep in my big chair and he'll be laying like this. It's a wonder I don't suffocate. And he's relentless. He headbutts me and everything.
Really?
He's a great cat. He is a great cat.
Showing you love.
Well, he's kind of a dummy. I'm sorry, Barney. I didn't really mean that.
Sorry, Barney.
He jumped off the roof. This is years ago. He's like 8 years old. He jumped off the roof, broke his leg when he was 2. So about 6 years ago. We have video of him. We casted it. We put a cast on it. And we have video of him crawling across, grabbing his bowl with his paw and pulling it to him to feed himself. It was the cutest video ever.
So he was in a cast for a month or so, or?
He was probably about a month to 6 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
And he's gotten himself into some pickles. He also crawled under the deck, and I don't know how. We've got a deck out back. I had to tear boards out to get him. I could hear him. I was frantically hammering out boards to find him. And I think the third board I got him. I found him. And we'd been missing him for 2 weeks, or for 2 days. And I heard a faint meow, and I could tell his meow. And I said, "Oh my God, he's under the deck. He's under the deck, and we have no idea how he got under there." And we got him. And then about 3 or 4 months ago, our van was just sitting in the driveway. It wasn't running. There was something wrong with it. Still had something wrong with it. But anyway, he got into the van when I'd opened it up to. I'd put some waters in there that I'd bought. I didn't want to bring him in the house. It was still cold enough outside. I figured that'd be my refrigerator. Put him in there. He jumped in the van. For 2 days, we couldn't find him until my daughter was walking by the van. She goes, "Oh my God, Barney's in the van." I was almost in tears because I couldn't find my cat. This is my cat. I mean, this is my cat, as you can tell.
He's your buddy.
He is.
Buddy.
Now, it doesn't hurt that I pet him for 2 hours a day. I mean, yeah, Barney.
He knows where he knows where his bread is buttered, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, this is my office here with all the teddy bears and such. He loves it in here. He stays in here most of the time. The office, or the closet, which you see me pointing at, I open that up and he lays on the shelf in there. But it's just a closet. I don't want it open. So I'll open it when we're done. I mean, there's nothing in there, just some clothes hanging up. some of my hoodies and such, and baseball equipment, and some stereo equipment.
Just your stuff. Just a bunch of your stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, but this is Barney.
Well, glad
he
Barney
doesn't understand what being on the air is, so he doesn't care.
Well, you've had all your other pets on the show pretty much, so
just about. I think I have. He's purring. You can't hear it, but he's purring up a storm. Hi, buddy.
I'm sharing our live YouTube link here on some of our other socials, so people can catch us out there.
Cool.
There we go. That's one of the cool things again that you can do with YouTube is share it to Twitter, share it to LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn, I encourage people to get on LinkedIn. Use it as your virtual resume. There's some really, really good stuff on LinkedIn. There's a daily roundup from news stuff every morning that is kind of nice to go through real quick and see what they think is news, because I don't really watch TV news anymore, at least not the national stuff. I can't watch it for more than 5 minutes. We go, well, that's crap.
Exactly. Don't even get me started on that. But you're right. In this enforcing an error, this constant lie that they keep repeating over and over and over again, like what I was telling you earlier about the program I keep hearing about the Capitol building breach, blaming it on the Republicans. Yeah, of course there were a few Republican zealots involved, but for the most part, you have to read up on it. You might have to do a deep dive on it because you're not going to find this in the media. It was a lot of Antifa and a lot of BLM doing it.
If you need any more proof of that, look what happens to continue to happen in Portland.
Yeah, exactly.
It hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped.
And I believe it started up again in Seattle.
It hasn't. I haven't really caught
it. It has. My buddy lives out in Seattle, and he's been giving me reports, and he's just sickened by it all.
It's crazy. It is a crazy world that we live in, but yeah. Keep being nice, people. Just do your best to keep being nice.
Yeah.
Let's make Rockford a nice place, and that's the best we can do. Best we can do. Keep being nice around here.
Cat does not like coffee.
Yep. I've got my water. I've got my dad cup.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And all the important.
I love that. That is so cool.
My wife got this. My wife is the most thoughtful person ever. She came up with this.
I like it when she brings donuts to the radio station.
Yes.
Now, since we're not at the radio station, you have my address. I'm just saying.
That's right. Well, I've dropped stuff off at your house.
You have. You
got the cinnamon rolls.
I certainly did. Well, a squirrel got one of them, but that's okay.
Are you serious?
No, I'm not. I'm kidding.
I was a little worried about it, leaving them on the front porch there when I dropped them off.
You've dropped things off several times. And see, the funny thing is, I don't know your address. I've essentially never been to your house. I think that's probably by design, isn't it?
It's our secret bunker out here.
Yeah, just like Mark Levin.
That's right.
Somewhere in a secret bunker, below ground. Anyway.
Joann is currently texting me the picture of the pet of the week and some details, so we'll be sharing that a little bit later on.
All right, that's just too much.
I've got I haven't shared a dad joke from Bill for a while, but I'll post one of those later as well. It's 8:19. As soon as Joann jumps in, we'll get her involved here. Coming up, I want to just promote real quick that in the next couple of weeks we will have special guests on the show. We've been averaging maybe one a month the way things have been going the last year. This is, by the way, the anniversary of our 1 year going all online and not on the radio.
Oh, really?
This week, last year, we started going on Facebook Live, which was it was pretty bad. First couple of weeks, it was pretty bad, which, whenever you start something new, it's like, okay, that didn't work. But we figured it out and got it together, and look at us now on YouTube, like we're YouTube stars or something. And again, will this keep going this way? I don't know. We'd like to be back on the radio. Will we this year? Who knows? Maybe by August.
I heard a rumor. Yeah, I heard a rumor. I cannot substantiate it. But yeah, maybe August. Maybe sooner. Maybe I actually heard sooner as
That'd be
well.
cool.
And I'm on board with whatever we do, Greg. You're
Yeah.
one of my absolute best friends. I love you to death, and I will do whatever you want to do. If you want to do this, I'll do it. If you want to go back on the air, we'll do it. And obviously that's a radio thing, so it's not just for you and I. We have radio involved with that. But whatever we need to do, this is a blast. We've been doing this. You and I have been doing this for 7 years, 6.5, 7 years.
This will be like 7.5 years, because we started this about the same time I got my real estate license.
Okay, yeah.
And
Well,
that was
I'm just going by
2013.
when Todd and Shannon, and then you took over. I was already part of that. I've been doing that for almost 13 years.
Yep.
Because they're almost 14 years. Yeah. And so when they left, or when Todd left, Shannon's still there. Todd left. Well, there's Joann. Hi, Joann. Good morning.
Good morning, Joann.
Good morning.
You've already been tagged and shared on Facebook this morning with our YouTube link. We've got people checking in on Facebook, which is on my phone screen over here, but YouTube.
Oh, we're famous today.
We got Linda watching over there on the YouTube channel. And
Let me unmask myself.
Be free. Show your smile to the world. Let's see here. Yeah, so the YouTube is streaming away. Linda was very happy to be at the in crowd on Thursday, and live in person in crowd stuff.
Did you go, Greg?
I did. I was there for a little over an hour. And
what was the turnout?
We had a couple dozen that came.
Oh, good.
Yes,
that's good.
I would say I was right around 25 for my estimation that was there, at least while I was there. And again, for those, we got scolded by a couple of people, but we're okay with that, because we told people if this is a mask optional. So if you're not comfortable yet, just understand you're probably going to be in a room full of mostly people not wearing masks. And when people walked in and saw that all of us were not wearing masks, they were like, oh, okay. I think roughly a third to a half of the people there were already vaccinated. Even if you do get vaccinated, what do you do now? You still wash your hands. You still cover your coughs. You still just be mindful of the fact that whether it's the flu or COVID or whatever, you still want to be mindful of people's health. So
these are all things that we should have been doing for the last 100 years. You don't just go and cough on somebody. You don't
unless you're a preschooler.
Yeah, exactly. But I know adults that do it. I know adults that will they'll sneeze in their hand, and then 5 minutes later they're going, "Oh, hey, I'm Bob,"
Yeah.
We
used
to talk about people at work that you'd see them go to the bathroom, and then you would say, wait a minute, you didn't wash your hands.
Well, I washed them earlier.
Right.
It shouldn't have been something we needed to tell people to do.
No.
By the way, did you want the burger platter or did you want the hot dog meal? Oh, whoa, wait a minute. I'm going to eat somewhere else.
Seriously, 20 or 30 seconds. Get some soap on your hands.
Or like where you go into business, it says employees must wash their hands after use, and you're thinking they need to be told that.
Okay, I agree with you. And here's the problem I have with it. How about everybody must wash their hands?
Yes.
Why just employees? I want everybody.
Why do we need a reminder is what I'm saying.
I know. I agree.
Didn't your mother teach you that?
You would think. All right.
I know. My mother taught me to always go to the bathroom before I left to go anywhere. And I still do that.
Yeah.
It's like, even if I just went to the bathroom, I go back and go to the bathroom again.
Well, and especially in this time of COVID, there's a lot of bathrooms. Goodwill comes to mind. For a while there, you couldn't use their bathrooms. They'd have the caution tape. And I'm diabetic, so I often have to pee. I'm sorry to be graphic, but that's what happens. I drink a lot of water. So every hour and a half to 2 hours, if I'm driving or if I'm here, if I'm there.
And if you're out for a while, that could be bad.
That's right. And if you can't find a place, being a guy means all you got to do is find a tree, but girls can't do that, but guys can.
Well, girls could.
Take advantage of the wooded area over there. We'll just.
That's right. That's right.
Those trees. I got to give it.
Girls could. There's a little more involved though for girls.
Right.
Our discussion has went to the outhouse.
Yes, it has.
Give a quick shout out to my son Noah, who him and I were doing. We had some yard work to do at a rental house, and so we worked there for a couple hours, and then I got this call that one of my clients is buying a foreclosure. I think we talked about this last week. I've got a foreclosure that's under contract, and when you buy a foreclosure, the buyer has to pay for pretty much everything, the closing costs and everything else, because foreclosure, it's a foreclosure, it's a distressed sale. They're not going to pay for anything. They're not going to fix anything. And if you want utilities on during your inspection, you have to get permission to get them on from the seller, which is a form. And then once you get permission, you've got to call the utilities and set it up. And
do you have to put it in your name then?
You do, temporarily in your name.
Even if you don't buy it, then you probably just take it out of your name again.
Yeah. Then you get dropped off. Then your name gets dropped off. But like typical utilities, they don't just tell you what time they're going to show up. They give you a window. So they gave us the hours that they would come to do the service. And my client was there for about 30 or 40 minutes before I got there. And then I called the utility again and just said, does the buyer really have to be there? You just need to get in, right? So if I'm here, they can go. Yeah, they can go. So my son and I ended up waiting 3 hours for them to show up and get this done. Cause they showed up within the window, but way at the end of the time they told us they would. Like, why didn't you just tell us we were last on your list for the day?
That was the utilities.
Yeah. It was.
I like when they say we'll be there between 8 a.m. and July.
Right.
So aggravating.
Other services will give you that courtesy call. Hey, we're 30 minutes out. Hey, why couldn't they do the same thing? I don't understand. But anyway, kudos to my son for hanging with me and keeping me company as we waited for the utilities to show up.
Now with a foreclosure though, it's usually a pretty good deal, isn't it?
It usually is. This one.
I mean, you get a better house for your money, so to speak.
Here's the thing. When you buy a foreclosure, again, you're buying a property as is, where is. They're not going to do anything for you on this property. So you really can't buy a foreclosure. It's 95% of the time it will fail if you try to buy a foreclosure with an FHA style loan.
Oh,
because the FHA appraisal has guidelines that usually requires some painting somewhere or a handrail being repaired or something, and the seller's not going to do anything.
Well, and the foreclosure is because they distressed their house, because they couldn't afford.
They didn't have money to keep up the payments.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. They're not.
So, yeah.
This distress doesn't necessarily mean destroyed. It just means that the bank owns it now, or the government owns it now, instead of a homeowner, and that's where there's some confusion.
And you don't get the as is with FHA. You can't say, well, the ceiling fan really doesn't work, but we're just gonna, you just have to accept that. No, ceiling fan has to be fixed.
Well, as is can be different than a foreclosure too.
Yeah.
No. What I meant was if it's in foreclosure, it has to be updated. That's what I mean. When we bought our house, we did buy it FHA, and they wouldn't let us sign on it until they had fixed a piece in the ceiling. I was okay with it. I'm like, I can do it myself. They said, no, seller has to do it.
It had to be completely livable,
that was just crazy.
so to speak.
Yeah.
They change those guidelines now and again. Sometimes they get a little tougher, a little less tough on different things. But basically, you've got to you have to have a move-in ready home that's safe, sound, and secure
for FHA.
Yeah. If you're getting a conventional loan that's a little bit less stressful as far as what they require to have done. But anyway, we got it done, got it together, and now the inspection can happen and we can test most everything because utilities are on. So that's the good news part of that waiting around for 3 hours. got that all together. We've got some good stuff to share, and let's see here, I've got the little music thingy, right? And I've got the little logo thingy, and where is it? SMS info.
Whoops.
There we go. There's the SMS info. But how does this look on the YouTube screen? I got to check and see if it makes any sense on the YouTube screen. Because if it just shows the picture and our head, great. Yep. Oh, that kind of works. Yeah, that kind of. So you see our SMS info, and you see my head, and then you guys' faces will pop in too when you talk. That kind of works.
So we have to be quiet.
No, you feel free to chime in. That's what this is all. That's why we're doing the SMS info this way now instead of the old way, so that we can chime in and share some stuff. And I got some interesting stuff to share this week, as I hopefully always do. Saturday morning Stateline show info. We'll get to our big number of the week coming up. By the way, our big number of the week this week is 89 million. 89 million. The answer is collies or coins.
Right on! Right.
Yes, collies or coins. So we'll give you the answer coming up at the end of the show. And for those following along, Tom and Joann are tied at 9. Yes.
And Saturday morning Stateline owes us breakfast when we get to 10.
We're gonna get to
whoever gets to 10 first. Yeah, absolutely.
No, when we get to 10.
Whoever gets to 10 first gets breakfast on the show.
That's right.
Hopefully you both do at the same time. As mentioned earlier, In Crowd made its return this week. About 24 attended at PC Tech to You. Robert was a great host over there at PC Tech to You, corner of Highcrest and Alpine. If you haven't been there, it's a really nice store. He does a lot of great stuff with computers. Anything connected to the internet, he can do. The reboots of the monthly free networking group In Crowd with a very, very happy organizer, John Berlin. He said it was nice to see so many familiar faces and some new ones too. And we had a great time at PC Tech to You. So thanks to those who came out. Registration is now open for the next Bridges Out of Poverty Community of Practice meeting. This is coming up on Friday, April 16th. To register, to get more information, contact Mary Cassiope. She's the executive director at One Body Collaboratives. The Bridges Out of Poverty Community of Practice brings people from all sectors and economic classes together to improve job retention rates, to build resources, improve outcomes, and support those who are moving out of poverty. And One Body Collaboratives with Mary Cassiope does some great, great work here in Rockford. And that's one of the things that she does over there. Are you ready for some football?
Yeah.
College and
Tom's
high school
always
football.
ready for football.
Today,
That's right.
live, my friends. I'm wearing my Augie shirt. My son played for the Augustana Vikings. It's the only Viking team I think I root for, Tom.
Good.
Go Vikings. Lindbergh Stadium is the place at Augustana as they host Illinois Wesleyan, the Titans of Illinois Wesleyan. The football game on Erickson Field, the first football game on Erickson Field in 504 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Is it a real live game?
Real live football.
It's not just like a spring scrimmage.
No, this is their season. Since they couldn't do it in the fall, they're doing it now.
Oh.
And they're only playing in their conference. I think they're playing 6 total games. I'm not exactly sure on that, but college football Division III, I believe, is back on the field today. And high school football, one of the games that is taking place today, Ackwen is playing Rockford Christian. That's a 3:00 game, and it is going to be live streamed on the NFHS network. If you're on Facebook,
Wow.
check out the NFHS network and you'll find the stream for Aquin taking on Rockford Christian. The Augustana Vikings game also being live streamed today at 1:00. Find that on their webpage. Football. Yeah, hopefully that goes well for everybody there. Okay. Amazon, a recent report from The Information says Amazon is expanding a program called FC Games to fulfillment centers in 20 states. This is a program that gamifies people's jobs. If you feel like your job is monotonous, I mean, you've probably done this before at some point, Tom and Joann, where you've gotten a little monotonous work to do at work. So you kind of turn it into a game, challenge yourself to do something faster or more efficient or whatever. Amazon is doing that.
Sounds like Mary Poppins.
That's right. It's a Mary Poppins thing. Turning packing boxes into something like an arcade game. Amazon tested this program in 2017. Gamification, increasing worker productivity, and in-game rewards can be used to purchase virtual pets like penguins and narwhals and dinosaurs. And Amazon notes the rewards do not have any monetary value. They have no bearing on a worker's performance, but it changes some of their boring work into something that's a little more fun. So I think that's kind of cool. Online grocery services. Have either one of you had groceries delivered to your house yet?
No.
No, I haven't. No.
Okay. I mean, other than your typical Amazon order or whatever.
I ordered from Amazon.
Yep. So online grocery services are feeding a demand for real estate development in cold food storage warehouses. Companies are whipping up plans to build tens of millions of square feet of urban-centered food warehouses designed to efficiently serve home deliveries. Americold, ProVendor, Lineage, all companies that are involved in cold storage. And cold storage construction could be worth about $18.5 billion in the next 6 years. It was a $7 billion industry 2 years ago. They expect it to be a nearly $19 billion industry by 2027. Big time growth in cold food storage. Speaking of storage, there's a critical shortage of shipping containers. This whole shipping thing is going to be a problem, guys, with the Suez Canal currently being blocked by that cargo ship. And some regions, of course, were in lockdown longer than others. And there's a huge imbalance in commerce, including a 40% imbalance for every 100 containers that entered the U.S., only 40 get sent back overseas. And 3 out of 4 of those are going back empty. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. So when a lot of our factories and stuff were shut down, we're not sending stuff back overseas. Hopefully our industries are getting ramped back up again so that those cargo containers go back filled with stuff that's being sold with American products. But for now, it's about a 40% imbalance, and that's tough on the cargo industry. Last big story, grape nuts. Remember we talked about grape nuts? The grape nuts shortage is now officially over. Late last year, cereal lovers were alarmed to find out that the grape nuts brand was being absent from store shelves, supply chain woes, unexpected demand, and even on the secondary markets, grape nuts were getting $100 a box.
Wow.
Not anymore.
Remember when Twinkies were on eBay for like $200 a box because they stopped producing them?
They thought they were going to be stopped to be made forever. And
yeah.
the cost went up. Yep. Well, grape nuts is back.
Sadly, those Twinkies are still edible.
They are.
Yeah, they will be.
So Post Holdings says the dark days are behind us. All right, I'll stop this share so we can get back on the big screen. And here's your randoms for this week. Canadian Pacific Railway has announced plans to buy Kansas City Southern for $25 billion. It'll be the first U.S., Mexico, Canada rail network They're betting really big on the future of North American trade. As soon as I saw this story, Tom and Joann, I thought of the book Atlas Shrugged. Have either of you read Atlas Shrugged?
I read Atlas Shrugged. I shrug as I
did
read.
not.
So the story, the story centers around a railway company that kind of gets bullied into being controlled by the government, more or less. But a US, Mexico, Canada rail network is going to be a huge, huge thing. And hopefully it runs smoothly and keeps the trade flowing well.
I only read Atlas Shrugged for a man. He said I wouldn't understand him unless I read Atlas Shrugged, but I did. If you know what my, I don't know what you could, my AOL name. I used Anne Rand. Anne Rand spells her name with a Y. A-Y-N-N. And so my is Joann. So I use that from Atlas Shrugged. Okay. The guy is long gone, but I kept the name.
Well, good news, Tom. There is a movie. You can watch the movie because the book is crazy big. It's a long book.
Yeah.
I read the Cliff Notes version.
There's more than there. She wrote more than one book too.
Yeah, there's like 3 books. Fountainhead is one of them. I forget what the third one's called. But Atlas Shrugged, the story itself was busted up into like 3 different movies. So I highly encourage you to watch Atlas Shrugged, the movie, and get the gist of what that story's all about.
If you need to.
If you
need to date someone that.
I think the story's good. I think it teaches something very valuable personally. But yeah, it's a very, what do you think of when you think of Atlas and shrugging? And that's
isn't the
Atlas
picture on the front
held
of
up
the
the
book
world and didn't care.
Holding a globe above his head.
Yeah.
Right.
The
and
world.
He didn't care.
So Atlas decides, all right, I'm not going to do this anymore. And then what happens to the world? So anyway.
Kind of like Tom wearing masks.
Kind of like Tom.
I have a mask. I have a mask today.
It's the Barney filter.
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
The Barney filter, very effective.
I don't know what's up with this cat this morning. I tried to put him outside the door and he just kept meowing to get in.
Feeling neglected this week.
Outside your office or outside?
Oh, outside the office.
Because I was going to say the pet of the week is one that was found outside and he was in terrible shape. So.
Yeah, well, they go out and go potty or whatever, and then they come right back in.
Yeah.
We know, you know how I feel about it.
We've had this discussion.
I know.
This is a good week for Barney to be on the show. We don't have a guest this week. Next week could be a problem though. So just be aware, Barney, be aware.
Yeah. I'll keep Barney out next week. I got cat hairs all over me and I got a white cream colored shirt on.
He's not done either.
I put him down a few minutes ago and 30 seconds later, watch this. Okay, buddy, you got to go down. Now, he'll make a liar out of me, of course. But normally what he does is he looks up at me and jumps right back up.
All right. He'll take a break for a minute and then come back.
Yeah, he will.
I've never owned a boat. Have either one of you owned a boat?
Well,
yes. Technically, yes. I mean, I had a canoe, but I also had a boat that didn't work. I had to do some repairs on it. And before I could finish it off, I just gave it away.
Okay. Yeah. Other than a canoe, I'm talking like a boat, something with a motor.
When I was married the first time, not the 100th time, we had property
Elizabeth Taylor
at one of those lakes in the Stockton area.
Oh, okay.
Apple Canyon Lake, and we owned a boat because my husband was big into fishing, and I did own a canoe, but I sold the canoe.
Okay. Well, the National Marine Manufacturers Association, the big famous NMMA, they say sales of boats and related marine gear hit $47 billion last year, 9% jump from 2019, a 13-year high in sales. And according to Boating Industry, all types of big boy water toys saw a big bump last year. Freshwater fishing boats and pontoons was over 12%. Personal watercraft like jet skis and sea-doos was over 8%. And wake boats was over 20%. A lot of people bought boats last year. Of course, what else were they going to do with their vacation money, right? They couldn't go anywhere.
That's right.
Big bump in boat sales. I wish I would have invested in the boating companies last year. Didn't think of that.
Well, I'm going to invest in cold storage. Thanks for the tip.
Yes. Invest in cold storage. Let's see. Pepsi has unveiled a Peeps flavored soda available to people who share promotional hashtags on social media. Peeps flavored soda, only available through a contest on Twitter and Instagram. It looks very cute. And honestly, I don't drink pop hardly at all. But if you offer,
you must be pop from Wisconsin.
Pop, yeah. If I didn't have a water on me and we were having a meal together and the only two drinks available were Coca-Cola and Pepsi, I'd choose Pepsi.
Really?
I like the sweeter taste.
It's disgusting. Coke all day. But I don't drink pop at all. I drink so little pop. But I can't count how many pops I drink on two hands in a year.
Right?
I just don't drink pop. I just don't care for it. But always Coca-Cola over Pepsi. I don't like Pepsi. I don't like the taste. I don't like their advertising. I just don't like that company.
Well, these are 7.5 ounce mini cans in colors yellow, pink, and blue, just like the Peeps. Looks very cute. I mean, I wouldn't mind tasting one of these, but apparently you can only
couldn't you just eat a Peep and then drink some water?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't get the point.
I will admit to this. Every so often, my favorite beverage, I think I've said this before, my favorite beverage the last couple of years, sweet tea from McDonald's.
That's kind of a bad angle, Tom.
I know.
Thank you, Barney.
He's mooning you guys.
Sorry, people.
Every so often, we've all had this happen. Every so often, you go through the drive-thru and they don't quite get your order right. And every so often, I get a regular iced tea instead of a sweet tea.
Oh,
which I'm okay with. I can tolerate it. But if I'm really craving something sweet, I had some candy corn in my car. The flavored stuff, the maple flavored stuff for the fall.
Oh yeah.
I threw a handful of those in my iced tea, and it
did it.
Sugar kick. They melted right into the tea drink.
Really?
You'd think they would melt that good.
It took a while.
Cold drink.
It took a while. It didn't dissolve right away, but I like busted them in half and stuff and threw them in there, and they dissolved in, and they got a little sweetness out of it. So
that's pretty cool.
I know it was worth the effort, and I kind of enjoyed that. But anyway,
you could have gone back to McDonald's.
Right. I don't do that unless I'm really desperate. I'm not doing that. All right. I've got one more thing I wanted to touch on this week if we have time, but it's already about 10 minutes till the end of the show. Do we want to walk through at pause today, Joann?
Well, I'd like to show I can do that. I had to switch over.
Okay. We'll do our walk.
We were just sitting here talking. I forgot it was that time already. Oh, I need to put my mask on though. I'm sorry.
All right. So
as you look at my purse, my prop. I just wanted to really, in case, and I also wanted to mention they're looking for sponsorships for the golf outing. This is the cat I was telling you about.
Oh my goodness.
Who was found as an injured stray, and he was in very bad shape. So, when you guys leave your cats out, I mean, he was definitely at one time somebody's pet. They don't get this friendly as a feral.
Right.
But he was in really bad shape, and he's going to be brushing when he does get a home.
What a beautiful cat. He looks like Simba.
He's just, notice his hair loss, and I forget what they said. He had to have some surgery, but he's healing well and he's doing great.
Nice.
Yeah.
But when you talk about leaving cats out, remember, it's dangerous out there for them.
Joann, I don't
I know.
my cats out. They go out and potty. Exactly.
They can't get outside by themselves. This is Lambrusco.
But I don't let them out.
You do let them out.
No, someone else does.
Well, oh yeah, I know, but they get out.
I know. But I have no control over that.
Here's Timmy and Tommy. These are two of my favorites.
It's food time.
Okay, I forgot. This is Sadie, right?
Oh.
There's someone talking over there.
Yeah, there is. And again, just a heads up, next week, Paul Hoffman on the show. And in 2 weeks, Carl Cole, Rockford's famous Carl Cole, going to join us.
I don't know who that is.
Well, you will in 2 weeks.
Okay.
He's a local musician. He does a lot of great work with the community.
Here's
with
some
kids.
wild kittens tearing up their room. He says, excuse me, I was having fun on my own.
Oh.
I think, unfortunately, kitten season has started. I know I've heard about a couple of people that had kittens coming in.
Please spay and neuter, folks. Please spay and neuter those cats.
And,
Right.
check out the golf outing. Check out Paws Humane Society, the Facebook page. If you want to see all the available cats and kittens, and also dogs. As you see, our volunteers are busy keeping our place clean. There's Timmy. I just love Timmy and Tommy. So there's the shelter for today, I guess.
Awesome.
Quick eye view.
Very nice. Thank you, Joann. Thank you, as always, for the quick
There's another volunteer, too. I love our volunteers.
And as we always say, if you need to contact Paws, pawshs.org is their wonderful website, pawshs.org, pawshs.org. Or as always, you can call them as well, 815-299-PAWS, 815-299-72.
And a reminder, the Paws, that's the hotline number that Greg gave out is not always manned, so leave a message and they will get back to you.
Awesome. All right. And to end the show this week, before we get to our big number, I thought this was kind of cool. Amardeep Parmar. I've never heard of the guy before, but he's got a cool name. Amardeep Parmar shares realistic micro habits to live better every day. Years ago, when I was doing the afternoon show on WQFL, I shared something about, and then I shared it again later on my talk show on WRHL in Rochelle. It was, I think, what was it called? It was like 50 ways to live longer or something like that. People loved that. They were I got more comments about that information than most other stuff that I shared. This guy shares something he calls micro habits that takes about a minute at most each day. And it uses tasks most of us do anyway, to improve your life, to live better every day. None of them are going to transform or revolutionize your life majorly, but it can help you live a little bit better every day, and that adds up. So here are some of the things that you can do every day for about a minute to improve your life. Lie on your back and hang your head and shoulders off the bed for 1 or 2 minutes. According to research, we don't invert our bodies enough. And this little stretch before going to sleep even will help open up your chest and get some blood flowing to your heart and your brain. And it feels good. Lie on your back, hang your head and shoulders off the edge of the bed for a couple minutes. A little bit of invert.
Like Dracula.
Kind of like a bat. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Turn off the autoplay on your TV and leave the control on your phone next to the TV. So if you want to watch more than one episode, you have to actually get up, go grab the remote next to the TV and start it if you really want to do it. Otherwise you could get stuck binge watching when you weren't intending to binge watch a show. Yeah.
Nah.
There you go.
No, I'm not going to do that. When I'm in my comfy chair, I'm going to just binge watch and enjoy.
Here's something that looks funny, but it totally makes sense. Balance on one leg while brushing your teeth in the morning and on the other leg when you're brushing your teeth in the evening. Balance is very overlooked until it's gone. Most of us go the majority of our lives and stay steady on our feet. That's pretty incredible. But with injuries and old age, balance can decrease. So spend time standing on one leg. That'll also give you an indicator of your overall brain health. You'll find yourself wobbling at first, but hopefully you can hold it for 2 minutes on each leg without a problem after doing it for a while.
I always feel stupid when I stumble.
That's right. Okay, Mr. President.
That was good.
Let's see. He's got a bunch of these. Here's one that I think more people need to start doing for sure. Unfollow accounts that stress you out. Okay, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, and you feel yourself constantly getting upset and outraged about things, stop following those things. I want to say it was about 3 years ago or 4 years ago. One of my Facebook friends, it became obvious to me that they really enjoyed starting arguments. It was like every day's post was an intentional jab at something to try to get people to argue with them.
Yeah.
And
back when I was on Facebook, I had that same thing.
Yeah.
Guy I used to work with in radio years ago. His name was, here he is again.
Now,
his name was Jeremiah.
I say this because
I'm surprised you didn't finish and say Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
He was quite the bullfrog. Well, bull something anyway.
I do say this to say I purposely do follow people who ask tough questions and maybe take positions that I disagree with.
Challenge you. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind that. It's the people who are always trying to start arguments. And there's been at least 2 people. I just decided to completely unfriend them on Facebook because their whole intention on Facebook was to start arguments. And even if they were proven wrong with something that was true, they stuck to their, crap. And I was like, all right, that stresses me out.
They don't understand. They don't understand the 2 things. I'm sorry. And I was wrong. I hate those types of people.
So unfollow accounts that stress you out. This one we already know. Always eat before you go shopping.
Yeah.
Don't grocery shop when you're hungry. You buy stuff you don't intend to buy.
But it's kind of fun when you get home.
So if you do it once in a while, it might not be a bad thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Every time.
Open up the bag of chips while you're eating a candy bar and dipping into the pudding.
Right?
Yeah.
Drink water before you eat. Try to drink a full glass of water before you eat a meal. And leave a glass of water by your bed when you sleep. So when you wake up, it's right there for you ready. Bring your body out of its dehydrated state and start your day with a glass of water.
You don't give that. I usually have my water next to my bed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I give what's left over to water my cats. Pour the water over my cats to water them so they grow.
Water. Very, very important. Water.
Okay.
No, I usually fill their water bowl with the leftover water.
I could try that with Barney.
That's coffee.
Hey, look at that. I mentioned his name. I know it's empty now, but I mentioned his name and here he is. Wow.
Last one.
My daughter, I'm babysitting. They're home now. They went on vacation. I'm babysitting for their cat, also named Barney, who was adopted through Paws. And I'm glad they're home because he's a very annoying cat. He's used to being an only child.
Uh-huh.
And he doesn't know why he's not an only child at my house.
Doesn't work at your house.
No.
Yeah, darn sure. Last one, and I might try to do this. Every time you go shopping, buy a fruit or a vegetable that you've never tried before. It's easy to stick to foods we know we like, but the human body is designed for a variety of nutritional sources. Modern supermarkets have huge varieties of fresh food available, so grab a new one on top of your usual shopping list. Different colors of vegetables signify different essential nutrients. So mix things up, reduce your chances of severe deficiencies, and you might even find something you like.
Especially now you're going to have to put this down because I listed something else. I'm talking too much. But at Valley Food, where you only can buy one.
Oh, you can only buy one what?
You only have to buy one. You don't have to buy a package of it.
Right. Oh, yeah, right, because it's in bulk. You're right.
And our school district did had a grant where the children were tasting every week. They would taste a fruit. And so I got to taste like a star fruit, which I would never have tried. So it was a neat grant for me too, because we cut them up in pieces and everyone got to try something new.
Nice.
So it was an interesting grant. Then they took home a little picture that said, I liked it, I hated it, never again.
Yeah.
Awesome. I like it. I like it a lot. So there you go. There's some realistic things that micro habits to help live a better life. All right. Our big number of the week this week is 89 million. And the answer is collies or coins. Collies or coins, our big number of the week this week. And what is your guess? In 3, 2, 1, go.
Collies.
Coins.
Ooh.
Yay,
ooh.
Good. We did a difference.
We're going to have a
Tom
winner
can win this week.
So 80
I probably won't.
million. Let's see. Who chose collies?
I did.
Okay.
I lost.
Joann?
Well, the tie is over.
The tie is over.
Regardless, yeah, one way or another.
And you are the winner, Joann.
Yay!
Joann is getting a free breakfast.
I don't know what I won, but I'm excited.
There's 89 million dogs in the United States.
Yay!
89 million dogs in the United States. How about that? They're not all collies, obviously, but there's 89 million
I was going to say
in the U.S. The coins story is actually kind of funny. A Georgia mechanic.
Send Tom some coins, people.
A Georgia mechanic.
Yeah, 89 million of them.
I think I'm guessing he quit his job, and he got his ex-employer pretty upset, and he had his final paycheck to get, right? So a Georgia mechanic got his final paycheck, $915
in coins,
91,500 oily pennies dumped in his
oily
driveway.
Pennies. I saw that. He had to sit there and clean each one. He counted them all to make sure.
Oily pennies. Yeah. That's 500 pounds worth of coins. If you stacked them up, that'd be the height of a 32-story building, 454 feet tall. So
that's where the coin shortage came from.
Don't quit your job disgruntled. Be nice. Don't burn bridges. That's a bad idea. So, anywho, there's your show for the week. Paul Hoffman next week, Carl Cole in 2 weeks here on the Saturday Morning Stateline Show. Any final thoughts, Tom, Joann?
Dad joke. If you don't have one, I do.
I'm going to post one. You got one? Go for it.
Coughing.
What's a snake's favorite course in school? History.
What is it?
History.
History. That is a dad joke.
All right. We'll post a dad joke with Bill on our Facebook page. Thanks for watching on Facebook. Again, join us on YouTube. Like and subscribe so you can see us there. And remember, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week. We'll do the same. Meet you back here next week for another Saturday Morning Stateline Show. Thank you, Tom.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye, guys. See you next week.